Ampa Adebeto just said the appeals court abusafo acquitted at discharge former Maslock CEO Sedina Tamakloe. Abusafo na abaye buburujao be a Canadian my intercepted some documents be facts be ya me name Babeche na Felix Kwakye Ofosu a minister in charge of government communication was say omo blaming his excellency John Dramani Mahama ne Abanwe no one want tiase o na Nana Akufo at the time yeah sentencing into 10-year jail term no mu blaming Nana Akufo so Nana Akufo and Nana Akufo afiase ana abusafo Felix nsem no 20 minutes metchere margin but the breaking story is Attorney General say or filing for appeal at the Supreme Court. Hey, interesting times ahead. But Sedina Tamakloe, to see how many can say appeals court no, acquittal no, at discharge no. Me de battery kasa mama enye honti asia. E kire say, mama no, she's now a free woman. And the High Court decision by no, the appeals court no, overturning High Court decision no. What are the facts? Sami Kuchu na me family right here on Sokatoa Show. Mesro, over subscribe. Oh yeah, bell notification icon button on video no drop here once. Feel free to leave your comment in the comment section. Over share link number afofro and you be a share. Lily Flower Green Clean Solution Center. You go so here to answer na power numre open cleaning company palm or maybe CSC prepare ofie ho hospital check bank institution office ma ho ye kama ho ye hwama mesro. For numbers na gushkins ye me twa no yopo e ma kakra bi ana ye beje ye chi kwan e wo adjusu fra kra na obakuma se adjusu traffic light no try pe won se defa so aborose to so 12 ase ope won sa ebeka Lily Flower Green Clean Solution Center. Now, vending natural backups are able to menstrual pains and abdominal pains at the bacho. Ultimate can quite away friend numbers negotiations what is CA na CC and I say yen told me mau ne basis or him fear ama pains ni na only pains ni to nkwanta mo be pai. Abusafo said the medical to John appeals court judges normally 3. Oh say appeals court na judges ni 3 but way omo nyina score 3-0 to acquit and discharge Sedina Tamakloe. Na abusafo Ushe judges now motna case yisuya abusiam his lordship Emmanuel Ankama Sampahene sa enso his lordship Emmanuel Senyo Amadahi and of course his lordship Samuel Obin Diawo judges miensa we and a transam so abusiafo omuruli say Madam Sedina Tamakloe yet na ko chef yase for 10 years for enema bi course so e was atama ye Maslock CEO no anko ya ye jelly 10 years no abusafo omakwete at discharge no na news ni ba bonti pe an Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine this statement about bonti na abusafo statement no and a good screen so maybe go through no ma church me wi a ya beti Attorney General na ankasanka ansa na Felix Kwakye Ofosu minister in charge of government communication so ya teninka na femi wi a me de madwen kire atato because Ghana ha no optics is very very important maybe a twam ne si anka de na ye beka anenne ede ne yeka but the montami kuchu now any Attorney General to appeal decision of the Court of Appeal in Republic versus Sedina Tamakloe. The attention of the Attorney General has been drawn to the decision of the Court of Appeal acquitting the former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loans Center, Maslock, Ms. Sedina Tamakloe, of all the charges brought against her. Ms. Tamakloe was charged with 78 counts of various offenses, including conspiracy to stealing, conspiracy to cause financial loss to the state, causing financial loss to the state, causing loss to public property, improper payment of public funds, unauthorized commitment resulting in financial obligation to the government, money laundering, and breaches of the Public Procurement Act. Hey, my man, the charges does to power. She was tried and convicted in absentia by the High Court Financial Division 2, presided over by her ladyship Justice Efiasewa Saribotri, JA, sitting as an additional High Court judge. Upon her conviction, she was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Now, the Republic opposed the appeal by filing written submission contending that the appeal lacked merit brought against her. Now, having received notice of the Court of Appeal's decision, the Attorney General has directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to immediately file a notice of appeal to the Supreme Court together with an application for a stay of execution of the judgment pending the determination of the appeal. The Attorney General remains committed to due process of law and is confident that the appeal before the Supreme Court will succeed. In terms of according to statement we are bound to pay after say the appeals court criticized discharging Madam Sedina Tamakloe. Almost the Attorney General directed Director of Public Prosecution to immediately file a notice of appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, man phone him say be away a clock with the John, but I know question they say see I know say for Attorney General indeed filing the motion at the Supreme Court to document and really will screen the way the Republic being dissatisfied with the decision of the Court of Appeal contained in the judgment of Court of Appeal sitting on 30th July 2026, hereby give you notice of an appeal against the said decision to the Supreme Court on grounds stated in paragraph 2. Part of the decision complaint, the whole decision, for the grounds of appeal, and number 1, the judgment of the Court of Appeal is not supported by the evidence on record. Number 2, the Court of Appeal erred when it held that the conviction of the respondent was not supported by the evidence on record. C, the judgment has occasioned a substantial miscarriage of justice. D, additional grounds may be filed upon receipt of the record. And the person mount here say, Attorney General Director of Prosecutions, Public Prosecutions, indeed, on my filing motion at the Supreme Court, stay of execution is say, Abusafo, Yamama Meninsham, till the final determination of appeal na ya appeal Supreme Court. So that's the latest on Madam Sedina Tamakloe. But then she both MPP and NDC, most of the big wigs are not happy with the decision. I'm not for who is a slap in the face of a fight against corruption. Se court bako a sentence obi corruption related to 10 years imprisonment. Na appeals court abe overturning decision. I'm not for crowd predictors and mameno. Extraditing from US to Ghana no. I'm not for predictors away. The answer na question for some few months. About appeal, no, winning case, no. More predictive about the bomb, no. They started talking. Nana Koja and Tuad and Adrian Traba. I'm for the bridge or Madrian Traba. They met Makacho say, in fact, NDC within most NDC big wigs are not happy with the decision. Are not happy with the outcome of the appeals court. Now, and no, an Attorney General, Ebo Munchi Mukakra, and ne, was press conference with the update in later on. Bakoti Attorney General, the entire filing for appeal. This
morning, the Court of Appeal issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedina Tamakloe, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, and I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I have also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment. I'm yet to peruse it and then come to a firm conclusion as to what will be our grounds of appeal. But I want to emphasize that I believe that the judgment of the High Court had merit and that the United States District Court that extradited her to Ghana had a basis for making a determination that she was the proper subject for extradition. And that is all that I will say for now.
Here, Attorney General Dr. Dominica Yine, and for Motin and on the office no area for Sedina Tamakloe, say appeals court no, I will say yen stagni acquittal. Now she's a free woman. Bonia abusia for and I quote the boni nano. Ya withdraw charges nina and I see who say Wandi Bonibia. Abusia, And then Felix Kwakye for say on Tiasi say Ghana had him say, yeah, emotive argument too much. I don't know we move blame aban why day. Na extradition name, the conviction name, I many file appeal yana happen under MPP. And did you blame about we? Who the Kotie Felix and say me ba, but my real tattoo.
This morning, all prepare to host the Attorney General Jubilee House media briefing. No, the Court of Appeal delivered a judgment on Sedina Tamakloe. Mijini said Ote and San are starting a press conference. No, when news broke, no, how did you receive it? Net was I would say court no are quit discharging no.
The position of government on Saseweno was expressed by the Attorney General in court. Indeed, many of the responses have been misdirected. You know what? You see, one of the things is you see on my way, and it's a in the analysis of issues that come. In Peninka say, there's no basis, absolutely none, not one, a zero basis to blame government for anything that the appeals court has done. But my sister, I'm for air cancer condemning government. But let me repeat, there's no basis for that.
Really?
What is the basis for accusing government, Obi? If an appeals court makes a ruling, how do you blame government? You are the trained lawyer, can't you hear me? No, Obi, you tell me.
No, sir. On the things that happen behind the scenes that people may know.
What things have happened, Obi? What things have happened?
I'm not saying something has happened behind the scenes. I'm saying if something happens behind the scenes that people will not know.
No, Obi, so catch me. What has happened behind the scenes? Say it publicly. What has happened behind the scenes? And then you see behind the scenes.
What is public now is that the Court of Appeal has ruled acquitting and discharging.
So who ruled? Who ruled?
The Court of Appeal.
So who answers for the Court of Appeal's ruling?
The judiciary, of course.
So what is the basis for attacking government? So, you see, we must avoid the emotive responses. Facts for why you avoid the emotive responses. Why? Obi, another question. Was it not the judiciary of Ghana, represented by the High Court, that sentenced
Sedina? Yes.
Yes, our sentence, no. Why the case Akufo Addo sentence Sedina? And as MPP are buying a sentence Sedina. So how is it that when the High Court, the same judiciary, a committee will be a papa, but the same judiciary can say Yeja will be a assembly? How do we reconcile these two positions? The point is that in 2024, I think April,
yes,
High Court, a committee Sedina, and of sentencing to 10 years.
10 years. Sure.
I think the month after that, 9th May 2024, 2 clear years ago, and I said in an appeal sentence. Because Attorney General, this has no court, no, Ofiabemu, January 2025, and Attorney General for buy. Attorney General for buy, no, oppose a appeal now. Said in the court.
Yes.
And appeals court SSA date for judgment. And no more a ruling. Attorney General Babontia Bekase, he disagrees with the ruling. He believes that the High Court judgment, was sound and had merit. And he will do two things. He will file for a stay of execution, and then he will appeal.
Appeal, sure.
Obi, what else is there to do at Abanye? And what would be the basis for attacking government for this ruling? How does government bear responsibility for an appeals court ruling?
And I get the sense you vehemently disagree with Omoa Ekase, and I've read posts from some CSO players because this is not good for the optics.
You see, Obi, let me address the issue of optics.
Yes.
Why? The court of Ghana, or for that matter, the court of any other jurisdiction in this world, do they convict people for optics? And do they free people for optics? when Sedi was convicted, was it for optics?
No.
And how can we argue, say, because of optics, you know, say, Obi Difa, and my young too, and I will be Dibuma, young too. So that optics argument does not agree. With the greatest, it's an emotional argument, not a logical one. The judicial system is set up to ensure, say, Nipa a different pet and a domatu if you say. An idea on the two if you say. Because a human institution, the mistakes can be made, so I must say.
Yes.
So Nipa na the two if you say no. So if you say you didn't mean year, and man who can say or call appeal. Or call appeal, like two things can happen. Either say the initial rule judgment of the court will be upheld. And I say so one of two outcomes. One outcome has come out today. So what can you say optics are? What is optics? So because of optics, I should come and block you and put you in prison so that I will satisfy public opinion. You and I know, and you are the practicing lawyer. Courts don't deal with public opinion. They don't. And found only the wide they deal only with what they believe to be the facts. In fact, even appeals court ruling, you can go higher than that.
Yes. Yes.
And Obi, in this country's history, there have been many appeals court decisions that have overturned high court decisions. In fact, at Ofosu, it was another the MPP in appeals court overturning a
high court
submission of no case ruling in a high court here.
Yes.
So if the same appeals court takes another decision, doesn't matter which government is in power. And how does the government of the day bear that responsibility? What is the basis for it?
Yeah, but Felix, when you look at how things happen, look at the scenario. This is someone who was standing trial or jampi bail. The trial ne also in absentia. Wa mama abain SSI. Abain SSI extradition so Emma Obai. Oba Ghana. There were issues. I mean, minority raising issues, or only prison, or that daibimu only prison, or prison. Abide by Ebe established clearly say, or prison. About 51 days of her coming back into Ghana. Court of Appeal discharges and acquits her. I mean, how the chronology of events, may lead people to make the claims Ebimu make it here.
Obi, it is a bogus position to take. First of all, time Ben said na jumping bill.
That should be in 2022, thereabout.
2022, na abandon the
MPP.
So does the MPP NDC bear blame for Sedina jumping bill?
No.
Number two, say you are aware, say it was the MPP government that filed for extradition.
Yes.
They filed the extradition in 2024. So the 2 years Nana said who was to blame for the delay in filing for extradition? And then because they had already filed for extradition, there was nothing else for the NDC government to do to wait for the Americans to effect it.
Yes.
And I said the buyer, Sedi is in prison. Up until this ruling, she was in prison. Not one nephew. The claims about one to say, or the fear, yes, no, I have not, I have some is a blatant lie. I came out publicly to debunk that. And you know, it is not true. Number two, Obi, appeal now said, yeah, no, the ban of filing.
From the records, I think May 2024, as you said earlier.
If May 2024, no, can you say a NDC person of filing appeal now? Okay, maybe so. Someone will be the issue of chronology.
Oh no, I mean, sir, based on the dates.
And then number two, which body sets the dates for judgment?
The judiciary.
If the end is necessary dates for judgment now. Toby, answer me.
No,
you are the one who has raised
it. No, it cannot be NDC.
So why then do you speak about chronology of events? How? The NDC was not responsible for Sedina jumping bill. That fact must be established. So if we are not responsible for Sedina's jumping bill, how can we be blamed for her jumping bill? In any event, the day Oba Ghana okode fiase no. The sentence started from that day. So that resolves the issue of the absence of the jurisdiction.
Yes.
So up until this appeal, she was going to serve the 10 years, starting from the day I occurred prison. So whether she was here or not before the convention is immaterial in terms of the punishment that the state was exacting against her. So how do you tie the NDC with this? Is it make us emotional? It is not logical. In so there's no basis. It is completely baseless. And you see, we must refrain from that kind of conduct.
Yeah, but
you cannot blame Obia on your bonnet for it. Unless you are suggesting, says you see, a president of Kwakye appeals court, how they should govern. Do you have any evidence of any form of government interference in this?
Yeah, but Felix,
that is not Obi. That is not chance. You know when they were appointed?
No, I may have to check.
They were appointed under President Akufo-Addo.
All the three?
Yes.
You are saying that for a fact?
That is what I know. So I've set out the scenario for you. So on what basis are you accusing the NDC? And now Obi claiming say they are angry at government. How does government bear responsibility for it?
Felix.
And Obi, is it the first time in our history appeals court has overturned the High Court ruling? In fact, okay, it's a go case, no. It was overturned. It was a very controversial, high-profile case, but the appeals court overturned it. And their decision stands until it is reversed by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but Felix, I'm wondering if this is a position you've held over the years, because I recall.
But why should I hold a contrary? On what basis would I hold a contrary position?
Hold on. And I'll give you an example. Kaisa, when the Atofos and Samne Koswa the High Court and all of that. I mean, interviews over interviews. I mean, and just not you. I mean, communicators of your party in opposition there, blamed the Akufo-Addo administration for some decisions and they free in court ever.
No, I see. In my view, the Akufo-Addo case was one of the most useless cases I mean. So I reserve the right to criticize the decision to prosecute. So I can say. But government's role ends with prosecution. Anamiwa. Hello, did you hear me say the judge who sat on that case and after the appeals court in that case, no, I be bonny. I criticize Godfrey Dame for taking a bad case to court. I stand by it today, I stand by it tomorrow. Obi, I have criticized the judiciary before. I have criticized them on their handling of the birth certificate, have I not? I have said that so publicly. I have criticized them for their handling of the Muntie case. I stand by it. But how do you say the scenario I have set out, President Manama should be blamed? How? Did President Manama facilitate Sedina's exit from Ghana in 2022? One and what should you say, Obebo, Ghana, Ashie ban. In fact, it was even the court that granted Sedina the leave to travel in the first place.
Yes. So
how does the NDC come in that? And have we not followed through the tradition to bring her back home? Was she not serving her prison sentence as of the time of this judgment? And indeed, the appeal, does it not long predate this government? So what is the basis for that purported anger? Say NDC about body.
Yeah, but sir, one of the reasons why some members of the NDC have never forgiven somebody like President Kufuor was because of Chachuche Kata. I mean, there were allegations all over the place, Kufuor and panel judges just to get Chachuche Kata in prison, and where was the principle you are espousing today?
It doesn't jive what you are saying.
I didn't hear.
You are claiming that there are opinions on social media and that they are angry. So I've said maybe a series of questions. All of them you've answered in the affirmative.
No, this is related to you saying I'm for blaming the government for what has happened today.
Is it Obi? And so somewhere in as also.
I didn't hear.
Why are you telling me say there is a nexus between Chachuche and anyway? In Chachuche's case, or court, no date had been set for the judgment. That or court, nobody had been notified that there will be judgment that day. In fact, the president of the GBA at the time himself raised issue with that.
Asempa FM.
But You are, so what are you alleging? Say President Manama you said, is that what you are suggesting?
No, I'm saying.
So then what is the issue?
People blaming president and the executive for decisions from our court on political issues. No,
and
they didn't start today.
There's no basis for what they are saying. What is the basis for it? Actually, I've set out the scenario for you. My cousin, which of them can the NDC be faulted for? Which of actually? And they should furnish us with the basis. You see, as a giant Ghana.
Very well.
An appeal, a process has been undertaken. You see, a year Abain did not defend the state against the appealer. Then you have a problem.
Sure.
And I'm aware.
Sure.
First of all, people have not even read the judgment. No, but I'm not going reading one sentence of the judgment. They've not even seen what the state said. And yet you are saying Abain should be blamed. How can you engage in misplaced anger? Say, why would I be justified to do so? What will be the basis for it? Is it criticizing the court is allowed? So criticize the court.
Yes.
Why? There was a judge who recently went to pick some judgment from, I think, or offensive view from Wikipedia. These people not criticize and ridicule him.
Yeah.
Can you blame government? I think government of course Wikipedia when it on here. Recently, judge now, okay, say Abronye was not equal before the law like others. Was he not roundly condemned?
Yeah.
So that is done. Condemning judges, criticizing judgments, is that. But I'm saying, say any claim, say Abain bears responsibility in this matter is baseless. And that must be placed on record.
Very well. Felix, my say, he said the Attorney General I promise you have a chain appeal and then we
yes, and the Attorney General has even gone the step to tell you what, in fact, and he was clear. So he believes that the original High Court judge had merit. That is the position of that. In fact, that is actually the position of government. Trust my face. That is the position of government. The appeals court in
you don't.
But you know, say whether you agree with the appeals court or not, their ruling stands until it is overturned by a higher body.
That's true.
That is the position of the law.
That's true.
And Obi, as for court judgments that we disagree with there, it will not end today. It will not end tomorrow. It's not the first time a man for any court in Yadien. It will not be the last time. But nobody has the right to peddle on truth and falsehood about government in this matter. And this simply because we are citizens.
The outcome today will not deal a blow to the fight, the oral fight.
How does it deal a blow to the fight against corruption? Obi, is it the first time in Ghana's history? Under President Mills, almost every NPP person taken to court was acquitted by the court. Did it deal a blow to the fight against corruption? Did it stop us from pursuing corrupt people? Why? Edwin Jima, I think he was the MD of Merchant Bank, Not a MPP. He was taken to court for causing financial loss to the state in some rice importation matter. He was acquitted by the court under an NDC government. In fact, was it not under an NDC government? Then also forcing High Court, appeals court free, no?
Yes.
So is it the first time appeals court Omega Ubia Yebuano for and I say you do not say more court now? So if it is acceptable, say appeals court will free at forcing under an NPP government. Why is it a problem? And is it because of NDC? So we are NDC here. Just because we're buying what Ben Munchino. So we need for crying for 2 years. Is that the logic we are espousing?
Felix, my
and the reason for that cannot be that previous court judgments have been criticized. Criticize the court by all means, but don't tell a lie about government and NDC in this matter, because NDC may be Diaboni was acting with. The facts are very clear. There are many people who don't know. If you know to just said Naba or finally appeal me. But you and I know that has something you know. She filed this appeal 2 years ago. 2 clear years ago. And yet it's a woman of starting the sentence, NK. But that has nothing to do with the appeal. And indeed, it was not the fault of NDC. Anything and I said in any Ghana. It was the court that was trying her. And a man Akwenya to Onkwa one Sayamba. And this is about 4 years ago, Meboa.
That's true.
If it was 2 clear years and not 3 clear years before the NDP left power. So they could have taken any step they wanted to bring her back. Yeah, by a moment, Yashama process now completely as another. How do you then fault us for her absence from Ghana? Indeed, it was the same MPP government. I say, and I can offer us you on the 4th January 2025. As I speak to you, we are engaged in processes to seek his extradition. Have we not done so? So we have done the same thing that we are doing against Kenufrata, against Sedina. So on what basis does anybody seek to blame government? Especially when even the judgment, Obiankai, you've not even found the basis upon which the court arrived at that decision, and yet you are blaming government. It is patently false.
Very well.
No, we should not encourage that kind of conjecture. And then say, in the past, court judgments were criticizing. It is not a reason to say something that is not true. It's as simple as that.
Felix Kwakye Ofosu, a minister in charge of government communication, and I'm not saying or then send back me to ga efa Madam Sedina Tamakloe say appeals court no acquitted no as a discharge no. Politics, media maka, mesa kabim, optics is everything. Optics is everything. Optics is everything. Buza won't Felix and someone wakano say a MPP time that BBC see ya and Felix go be taking this position. I understand him. It is his duty to protect the image of the presidency. He speaks for the government, so he cannot criticize the government. But in Montana, what are people saying? Emrano, Emrani nipa. The law should make sense to the ordinary human being. Ghana hanum say. Emrani anyama sabi. Yema nipa. Eti, I'm for predicting. And Ghana they fight against corruption. Politicians are involved. Them come biya. Into Obedru Ghana, obey say, Obekaso Yare, Yeshana Yarasa, Oba file for appeal. Maybe who want to see what winning appeal case. People predicted an album. I am not caught in some news and they cannot be all. But my worry is what people say about the government. Is the government not worried? And that's what I'm telling you. Even within the NDC, most NDC bigwigs are not happy. Why we are NDC now, Oshami? Are you happy? Why we are MPP now? Are you happy? Are you happy? The fight against corruption, se say ne be ne de ne be di o because obi anim say na aban ba na so betimi aya na ya yina. The fight against corruption will be very difficult. Enti aya mo me hwe yi me de madwen che ne say the government should pay attention to all the optics what people are saying. Enti we make say ye emotive argument. What is wrong if we do emotional argument? What is wrong with that? Say ade no de da ho no you expect people to keep quiet. No. The papa moi. Judges no. Any part no motra say we nyina will leave say ya quitting discharge no. So the fact of the matter is that per law it means e be a high court judge now what na asem so rule no. Judges when who say maybe there were not enough grounds to convict her. For which reason your market discharge no. But maybe per se how do we manage the optics in all this conversation? How do we manage optics? And Traon can say optics perception very very important too. Me say so as a politician be a corrupt. I won't question this over at the end of the day, you use corruption perception index, corruption perception index, and the assets are bound where corrupt and that's when you're corrupt. Now what can you say? President be Wieska, but it makes us say president were corrupt and a president and a more corruption. How do we do that? We use the perception index, what people are saying, what people perceive the government to be. And don't want to say optics. I told you what. Maybe the program next week, I'm going to leave more comment in the comment section. I'm going to share a link. You know, for any be actually. You must send me the show. Be mentioned. Makramo.